Hi, I'm Shinae, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
And I am so excited to be talking to you. I've been listening to Dear City EP, which just recently came out, and I gotta say that your voice is very, very powerful and beautiful. I want to know before we dive in and talk about this EP, I want to know how you learned to sing the way that you do, and how did you learn to understand and control your voice?
How did I learn to sing like what I do now? Well, it goes way back. I guess I was born with sort of lower voice as a female singer. Like my sisters and my mother all have a lower kind of female voice. I think having the lower vocal cords itself really helps to make the sort of powerful sounding because it takes more effort to make the same note. But then I grew up listening to the powerful voices such as Whitney Houston, Christina Aguilera. I used to listen to them and sing along to them all the time in my teenage years. And that really gave me a big, huge strength. I think looking back now, being a very fragile teenager, needed someone very powerful like them to look up to and have them as a role model. Yeah, that was the start of using my voice to sound more powerful. And then many years of practice and many experiences of recording and listening to my own voice. So I know how it sounds like. Yeah, that really helped me a lot. And controlling my voice, I think recording over and over and listening to my voice helps a lot, even until now.
Now, you obviously started singing, whether it was just like singing along to these songs or like singing professionally. You started pretty young. So as you start in an industry or just at home in your leisure, and you start singing at a young age, you start to grow up, you start to evolve, your voice starts to kind of change. During this process, do you feel like it was easy to stay consistent with your voice, or did you feel that you always had to learn or relearn your voice again?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question because what I um, what I feel right now is what I sing at the time, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 10 years ago. I always think different and experience different things. And by those times, the way of I sing kind of change. And also music industry changes all the time. For an example, when I was a teenager, there used to be it was a huge thing to have these powerful voices like Christina Aguilera belting, "Ah," you know. She doesn't sound like this, but um, but after years and after like nowadays, uh, the singers tend to sound more comfortable and emotional and subtle. The trend always changes. But as a professional vocalist, now I'm a solo artist, but I used to be a backup vocalist, and also I write songs for other singers. So to do that, I need to record my own demo tracks. Um, so I always change my voice by songs. I used to. Now I'm very focused on my own message and what I want to project in my own songs. So yeah, I guess that's kind of my strong ability to change around by the time or feeling or the audience, the way I sounding.
Jumping on that, now that the EP is out, when you started working on this EP, just like you mentioned, voice is always changing, the sound is always changing. So, how did you come to this sound that we listened to on this EP? Was this because of a lyric, a feeling, an emotion that you kind of had when you were starting to work on this EP?
Oh, well, sound-wise, I changed my voice a little bit through this EP album because last year in September, I released my first solo single, Respect. And at this time, I took like 3 years off before that as a singer, in public. So I was not used to singing, having shows, there's a lot of pressure to be on stage, and I have to sing this day and the next day and the next day. So I wasn't very comfortable with having good condition of my voice all the time. So by the end of the promotion, my voice was in bad condition. So as I'm getting older, I also feel like I need to manage in proper way of my vocal cords and my other body condition, physical condition for singing. So I changed the way of I sing to more stable. Before, I used to sing more raspy. I used to use more of raspy voices, but this Dear City album, I tried to be more secure with what I sing, to be more consistent and to be clear for projecting the lyrics to the listeners. And also emotionally, I wanted to put the message well, so I tried to be more calm. And then trying to put my ego aside, that I want to be good and I want everybody to say, Anshin is a great musician, she's a great singer. But other than having that credit, I try to calm myself down. It's okay, it's okay. It doesn't have to happen right now. You can be calm and focus on the message. Focus on the message that you want to speak through the music. So emotionally, yes, that's what I tried, to be not too much all the time.
So when it comes to the writing process for this body of work, did you consider your voice at all, or did you just jump into the writing and then focus on the vocals afterwards?
Oh, the songs were already made a few years ago. So this album making process was more like continuously asking and studying and experimenting to find out what the song wants, not just by myself, but with the very talented producers like Yugon Hyung and Cloud Co and Filter. Yeah, so the songs were already there, and they were written very quickly at the time.
The fact that it was written some time ago, did you go back and rewrite or recreate the songs? Like, did you feel that the songs were done when you wrote them the first time?
The melody and the lyrics were done. There were almost no changes to the lyrics or the melodies, other than comparing to the original version. But yeah, it didn't change much, but the instrumentation and the backup vocal lines, and just basically the whole dynamic, other than the top lines, it's all remade, I guess, because it was just one guitar and one piano in the original song. So now it's more like a big full production, which I'm very happy about. It's like I already have my life story, It's there. And everybody has their own life story. Everybody. So before they are expressed and projected, they're just inside themselves. But then when it is out and expressed and put it in some forms, like a movie or a book or a poem or a music, it's so cool, It's already the same story. Like, it's not made from, it's completely created from nothing. It's there, but it's just projected in visually and musically and every other way, I think it's just a great feeling when you witness the final product.
When you originally wrote this music, did you feel that the music basically just wrote itself, like the lyrics just kind of happened naturally, or did you feel like it was something where you were trying to figure out what to write about, you were trying to figure out like how to express your life and your story?
Yeah, absolutely, it comes out naturally. That's what I'm trying to do right now at this point of my career. That I have been writing so much in the past without the intention of writing, which I think it was a huge gift, that I didn't realize it was a gift. It was very natural for me. Like when I feel something, I just go write without the pressure. Like, as writing a journal, Oh, I had a great day today, so I'm just going to go home and write in my journal. I had a great day. I want to record this. I want to keep this feeling. So for me, writing music is natural as that. But it is so lucky to have them in my iPhone recordings, that it's endless. I mean, it's not very good. The quality is bad. Like it's just like, But then there are such great ingredients to start from. So nowadays, for me, this point of my career is to collect. My past self has provided. My job now is to communicate with my past self and then help these creatures to be on a dish, a good dish, with many helps from great professionals that I have around right now in P Nation. So yeah, so I took that as my job right now. There's other than trying to create something very new, there should be something that I haven't discovered. I'm sure there will be time in the future, but now is the time for me because I took such a long time off. I need to take what's there that I haven't discovered and present them in a nice table to make my fans and my audience enjoy.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Thanks.
That's a really beautiful way to put it. During this process, like, what do you feel was a challenge for you?
Every single day waking up from my bed. The challenge for this album, the most difficult part. Now I understand why it's so difficult after answering the last question. Is choosing tracks. It was a choosing tracks. So there are so many tracks and thinking about what I haven't written, what should I be trying for my new album. So yeah, just choosing the songs were the most difficult part of the process because I went through like 20 different songs. Like I tried this and then work on it and discuss with my producer, and my producer said, I don't think this suits your next album. Okay, and will this be the title song? And I'm not sure. That was very long. But then after the songs were decided, the recording and the mixing process went like so easy. Yeah, those choosing songs were difficult.
It just really sounds like this EP was asking to come out. You just needed to finally be like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very correct way to say it. Yeah, even now in my iCloud recording, thanks to iCloud, because even if I lose my phone, I can still have my recordings in there for a few years. So yeah, there are still many of pieces that's I believe these songs are waiting for me, and I need to be a good farmer to pick when it's ripe. Yeah. There's a funny story to share that one of my favorite musicians, songwriters of all time is Chris Martin of Coldplay.
Oh, one
And
of my favorite too.
oh,
Yes.
yes, he influenced so many songwriters, and he's a beautiful songwriter. I got very lucky to meet him once, and I just like basically ran into him. I found him alone in the crowd for 2 seconds. So I ran to him, and then I said, "Hi, Chris. My name's Shinae. I'm a singer-songwriter in Korea, and I have something to say to you." And then he was like, "Oh, great. What's that?" And I read I saw one of your interviews back in the day when I was a teenager, and that inspired me to start writing songs. And he goes, "Oh, great. What's that? What was that?" And he said he's not a person who creates new songs. Like he's not a creator of the songs. He said what he does is the songs already exist in the world, and his job is to collect them and project them in the music. Like that he's a translator. That I said that to him, and he was like, "Oh, that's so great!" And he took his badge on his chest off, and then he gave me the badge of Coldplay tour. And at this time, like, the whole crowd was like watching, looking at me, and like, "Who's that girl?" I got the badge from Chris Martin, so it's a great memory. So yeah, that really, yeah, what Chris Martin said at the time. Now I think back, I I now live every day. That was true.
Wow. It's cool how someone could just influence you and not necessarily just their sound or their voice or their single. It's just like the way that they exist. And I feel like that's what happened with Chris Martin. Eventually, someone's going to come up to you and you're going to be their Chris Martin. So, I mean, that must feel amazing, right?
I don't know
So
if I'm such a
have that badge ready.
I know, yeah. Let's get badge ready, P Nation. I mean, yes. So that's what's amazing to witness. After my solo album release, there are young musicians send me like direct messages saying that how they get courage to continue their dreams to be a musician after listening to my story in music, that I continue to be successful in music industry for so many years, doing different things, backup vocalist, vocal teacher, and everything else. And then I took my years off to try something else other than music, because that's something I have done for whole life. And I almost gave up, but then I came back with a great opportunity, and now I get a chance to continue to do the music. And they tell me my story inspired them, and that's so great. I'm so overwhelmed even just thinking about it, how great it is, the circle of good things happening.
I mean, when you're here for the right reasons, the right gifts and blessings are gonna come your way, right? Like I've always said that, like, if you're here for the wrong reasons, you're not gonna experience the fruits of everyone's or of your labor or like the reason for everyone being here. So I
Absolutely.
totally understand that.
Oh, thank you.
It sounds like going back to this like EP or just this process alone, like the era that you're in. It sounds like you are kind of rediscovering yourself all over again. So I'm curious, during the process of this EP, what did you learn about yourself that you didn't know before?
I could be helpful for other people. Like my message could help other people. And it's okay to be more confident about my own story and who I am. That's what I have discovered about myself.
You have a gift, you have a very beautiful gift with music, with your voice, with your existence. So I really do look forward to seeing more and hearing more from you.
Oh, thank you very much.
So in closing out, the EP is out now. How does this music translate in the live atmosphere when you start going and doing live shows?
I just recently formed my own band with my great musician friends, and we just uh, we played our first show last week, I think. It's just really hard to explain in words. It's just breathing the air with my fellow musicians. I just love playing with other people. It's the music flows, and there's magic when there are like good musicians playing together, and that's the happiest moment for me. Well, that's the moment that I feel like my songs are the birds, and they spread their wings and fly. What a cliche. Yeah, that's what I feel like, and I enjoy doing that in front of people that want to listen to music, and they open their hearts to new experiences and deep messages. Yeah, so I hope there are many chances to do the live shows to share that, well, the magic with the audiences. Yeah, and I hope one day in the U.S.
Yes, please. Please. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Congratulations with this EP. And yeah, hopefully when you do come to LA, we can do this again in person. So,
Oh, yes.
and thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, and I very enjoyed being on your show and having the talk of these great conversations. Thank you so much for having me.